Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This morning I want to talk about how to stay safe as a 72-year-old motorcyclist. Let's face it, motorcycling has risks. It's not as safe as driving a car. There's no steel cage surrounding you and protecting you in case something happens. We can fall off. We can be hit by other cars. And that, of course, is a big risk because it's a well-known fact, to motorcyclists anyway, that the drivers of cars do not see us. We are little specks to them, and they don't even notice us as they drive along. We have to notice them. We have to drive defensively. We have to make sure that when we see a car pulling out from the side, when we see a car changing lanes, we're not in their path of destruction. But we do need to protect ourselves. How do we do that? Wearing all the gear all the time. And that's what I want to talk about today, the gear that I wear and the gear that I don't see other people wearing around me. Here in Oklahoma, not only is a helmet not required, there's no gear required. Just yesterday, I saw somebody riding down the highway in sandals, short-sleeved t-shirt, plain blue jeans. Yeah, he was wearing a helmet, but that was the only nod to safety. He wasn't even wearing gloves. This is not safe. As a 72-year-old motorcyclist, I want to do all I can to keep my body safe in case I come off that bike. So I'm going to show you the gear that I wear and talk about why I wear it and what it does, and also show you that it can be fashionable to wear biker gear and not necessarily look like a biker. So let's get into it. I get it. Wearing moto gear is a lot. It's a lot to put on. You got to put on appropriate motorcycle pants. You have to put on an appropriate motorcycle jacket. If it's cold, of course, you need to layer underneath that jacket to keep yourself warm enough. You've got to have the gloves. You've got to have the boots. You've got to have the helmet. It can be a hassle to gear up for every ride, but it's important to do it. So here's what I gear up wearing. Let's start with the jacket. This is my actual motorcycle jacket. It's a Garibaldi brand. I don't know the style of this jacket, but it wasn't terribly expensive, about $300. Of course, it is leather. It has armor in the elbows. It has armor in the shoulders. It has padding also on the shoulders. It has plenty of pockets and things to zip up in. When I wear this jacket, it's fairly tight to the body. As I put it on, you can see it fits pretty snugly, and that's good for keeping me safe, keeping me warm, but also is not that great for layering underneath it. If I want to layer under this jacket, there's not a lot of room here. So I have other choices for colder weather when I need to layer under the jacket. But in warmer weather or temperate weather, this is the jacket I wear because it's easy to throw it on, zip it up, and go. It's an all-in-one deal. It does have a thermal liner that I can zip in and out as according to the weather. But even with a thermal liner, if it's cold outside, I need to layer up underneath it, and so I tend to wear some other jacket, which I will show you now. If it's cold outside, or actually even if it's a bit cool outside, I like to wear this jacket for riding. This is a leather jacket, but it's not a motorcycle jacket. This is just a plain leather jacket. It's in the style of the bomber jacket, the Air Force A2 style jacket, but it works for abrasion resistance should I come off the bike. The leather, of course, will protect me for abrasion, but it has no armor. So what do I do about that? First, let me show you how this jacket fits. It's much roomier than the previous jacket, the Garibaldi jacket that I showed you. There's a lot of space here. There's room in the arms, there's room in the body. When I zip it closed, you can see that it still has quite a bit of space. I can layer under here nicely to keep myself warm. But I do want to protect myself with some armor. So what do I do about that? Well, I have Under Armour by the Bowtex brand. which is made in Europe, in Belgium actually. And so let me show you the Bowtex. This is Bowtex Under Armour. Slip it off the hanger there. You can see here, this is the Bowtex brand, Under Armour. I can put this on under the bomber jacket, the bomber leather jacket. There is armor here in the shoulders, there is armor in the elbows, but that's not all. This one also has armor in the chest protectors, and it has armor in the back, a back protector. So this is really good, and in fact, it is AAA rated, so it's very protective. And when I put this on, even when layering, you can see here that it fits pretty snugly. And then I can throw more layers on over this. I can throw on, for example, a down vest, and then I can put the bomber jacket on top, and now I'm fully protected. I have the armor of the Bowtex underneath, I have the leather jacket on top for abrasion resistance, and I can have as many layers under this as needed for the temperatures outside. So this works very well as a motorcycle jacket combination. So that covers us for the top, but what about the bottom half of the body? Well, we need appropriate motorcycle pants of some kind. A lot of people wear textile pants, which are great. I prefer the more casual look. As those who have seen other videos on this channel know, I ride a Moto Guzzi V7, which is a retro style bike and that classic looking style. And so I think motorcycle jeans with leather jacket look best for that style. These are the motorcycle jeans I wear most often. They are Roadskin, and these are the Taranis Elite motorcycle jeans. These are AAA rated. They have armor in the hips. They have armor in the knees. The material, of course, is designed and made to protect in a slide. And so these are quite protective. And it's easy to throw these on. And they don't look too much like motorcycle gear. It's a little bit obvious of the armor in the knees, but it's not terribly obvious. I will slip them on, and you'll see how it looks. So here are the motorcycle jeans wearing. I will back up and let you see them more at length. They're a standard 5-pocket jean design with the offsetting color stitching, so they look pretty much like regular blue jeans. And they fit pretty much like regular jeans. They fit pretty snugly. They fit more or less like my Levi's, except of course there's armor in the knees and armor in the hips, which is less obvious. The armor in the knees are a little more obvious because they kind of stick out a little bit, but they're quite comfortable. They're single layer jeans, so they're not hot when wearing them. And I can wear these all day. It would be nice if there was a zipper or something that I could quickly remove the knee armor, but there's not. They're on pockets on the inside of the pants, so it's a little bit of a hassle to take out the knee armor. So I don't. I just wear them. When I get to my destination, they're fine. They look more or less like normal jeans, and they're very comfortable to wear, and I wear them. And they're protective. These are supposed to keep you safe, even in a 70-mile-per-hour slide. So AAA protection, can't beat it. But what if I don't want to look like a biker? I really don't want to show up wearing either blue jeans at all or semi-obvious motorcycle jeans. Well, I have an alternative for that also. I have another pair of Under Armour, also made by Bowtex, that I can wear under regular trousers. I'll show you that. These are the Bowtex Under Armour pants. You can see by the label here that these are the Elite brand and are AAA rated. These again made by Bowtex, the company out of Belgium, and I can slip these on under my regular trousers and still have full AAA protection. There's again armor in the hips, there is armor in the knees, but these disappear entirely under a pair of trousers. First, I will show you how these look just by themselves. I'll slip these on, and then afterwards, I'll show you how they look with a pair of normal pants on top. And voila, here I'm wearing the Bowtex Under Armour pants, and I'll back up so you can see them a little further, but there's armor here, there's armor here. They fit, as you can see, pretty tightly to the body, but they're very, very comfortable. The material is soft and yet also serves as additional warmth if I'm wearing them under pants in cold weather. And you can see that I could probably wear these pants by themselves if I wanted to go out looking like I'm wearing leggings, which I don't, but they're very comfortable to wear, and underneath the pair of pants, as you'll see in a second, they completely disappear. And now the big reveal. As I back up, you can see I have put on a pair of regular chinos, a pair of gray regular chino pants, a little bit dressy. If I'm going somewhere for a meeting or a social event, or if I'm teaching my law class, I don't necessarily want to look like a biker. Now I have on these chino pants, but underneath here, I am wearing the Bowtex Under Armour leggings. You can't tell. You can't see anything at all in what I'm wearing. It looks just like a regular pair of pants, but I'm protected when I ride. Now, of course, if I came off the bike, these chinos are going to shred pretty quickly, but underneath the Bowtex armored leggings, those are going to keep me protected. Those are AAA rated. They're not going to shred. They are armored in the hips and the knees, and that will protect me. And yet I can show up at my destination looking like I'm wearing just regular street clothes. Okay, so we've covered the top and the bottom parts of the body, but we're not finished, of course. Now we've got to talk about the feet. And I will show you the two pairs of motorcycle boots that I wear because protecting the feet, very important. I've seen articles by orthopedists and ER doctors saying that they treat more injuries to the feet of motorcyclists than to anything else. If you break your arm, you break your leg, you can still manage to get around. You break your foot, you've really screwed yourself up now, and it's going to be a long time recovering. So very important to protect the feet. And by the way, I will put links to all of this gear in the description down below so that you can see what it is I'm talking about and where you can find it. So let's take a look at the first pair of boots that I wear. These are Spada brand motorcycle boots. As you can see, they are the casual sneaker style of boots. And these are appropriately protected, as you can see, regular motorcycle boots. These are fine when I am riding around town, not going very fast. These are not too hot. I can wear these in the summertime and not roast my feet. But I don't like to wear these if I'm going out on the highway, at least for an extended period of time, because I don't think they're quite as protective as higher boots might be. Still, I wear them frequently, and they're very comfortable and easy to slip on. They lace up just like a regular pair of sneakers. But if I'm going out on the highway or I'm commuting, for example, to the university where I spend quite a bit of time both on the highway and on the city streets to come down, I wear these boots. And these are TCX brand boots. These are also waterproof, which the Spada boots are not. So if there's any chance of moisture, these are the boots that I'm going to wear. I don't generally like to ride in the rain. I find it uncomfortable, and there's not really any need for that because I do have other options for commuting. But if I find myself caught out in the rain, these are the boots I'm going to want to be wearing. As you can see, they also lace up. It would be nice if these boots had a side zipper. I would prefer that I could leave the lacing done all the time and just zip in and out to get into these boots. They don't have that option. I do have to lace them up completely. But they're protectable motorcycle boots. Of course, like the Spada, they have ankle protection. They have a good stiff sole. They have a gear pad on the toes, as do the Spada boots. And so these are the ones that are my go-to boots if I am going any distance at all. Now let's talk about gloves. Also very important to protect the hands. Why? If you come off that bike, what's the first thing you're going to do? you're going to throw your hands out in front of you to protect yourself from the fall, right? Well, you need to have some protection for your hands because those hands are going to come into immediate contact with a very hard surface, the pavement. Even if you're riding off-road, you're going to come into a hard surface, which is the dirt or the grass or the gravel, all of which is going to be very uncomfortable without a pair of gloves on. And I see people riding without gloves, and I just don't get it. Their hands are just open to damage, not to mention the cold. If there's any kind of cool temperatures, if it's below 90 degrees or 30 degrees Celsius, your hands are going to get cold in extended riding. Why not wear gloves? So these are the gloves that I wear. These are made by Fogy Garage, which is a company out of Hong Kong. I ordered them directly from them. They were shipped right away, and I got them very quickly. These are leather, of course. I like them because I like the color, but also they're very soft, very comfortable to wear, and yet they're still protective. On the fingers, they have some protection on the back. They have a leather palm slider here, which is very important because if you come off, your hands are going out in front and you're going to be sliding on your palms. They're short, they're not long cuffs, and yet I find that to be perfectly fine for the riding that I do. And in terms of connection, they snap like that. Now, a lot of gloves, of course, use Velcro closures to keep them closed, but I find that the snap is easy, and I don't think that these gloves are going to come off my hands in a slide because the snap closes them pretty tightly around my wrist. There are, of course, more protective motorcycle gloves than these, with knuckle armor, with armor along the fingers. And I have a pair, or actually 3 pairs, of those gloves, but I don't tend to wear them because I find them to be very uncomfortable on a long ride. My fingers go numb, and they just don't suit me as well as these. Yeah, I could probably wear those and feel safer, but I feel safe enough with these gloves because they are leather and they're going to protect me should I come off the bike. I feel it's okay. And last, but certainly not least, the helmet. This is the helmet that I wear. As you can see, it's an HJC helmet. It is the C10 style helmet. It gets very good ratings and reviews. I actually chose this helmet because of a review in Motorcycle News, the publication out of England. They give this a good review and note it as being quite safe. It's also very comfortable to wear. You know, not every helmet fits every person's head. This helmet fits my head. The HJC brand, for some reason, fits well on my head. It's not very heavy. It's reasonably quiet. And of course, it is DOT and ECE approved for safety. Wearing this helmet is so important. I see so many people riding around without helmets, wearing nothing but a do-rag or nothing at all. And if they come off, their head's going to get smacked into something. I only have one head. I want to protect it. I always wear the helmet. And why do I wear a full face helmet? Why not a half helmet, an open face helmet? Well, I wear the full face helmet because I want this chin protection. When I first started riding on a Vespa scooter, the salesperson at the Vespa shop was advising me on helmets, and I said, well, you know, what about an open face helmet? It looks kind of cool with the Vespa. And she said, yeah, it does look cool. But if you fall off the scooter and are sliding along the pavement, you're going to mess up your jaw. And it may not be as cool to wear a full face helmet, but it's a lot cheaper than a jaw reconstruction. She was absolutely right. So I always wear the full face helmet. So there you have it. That's a review of the gear that I wear. I'm a firm believer in ATGATT. All the gear, all the time. I can't speak for anybody else. Everybody has to decide what to wear for themselves. But as a 72-year-old motorcyclist who wants to keep on riding, but wants to stay as safe as possible while doing it, I'm wearing the gear. Thanks for watching. Give me any comments you have on my gear or the gear that you wear in the comments below. I'd be interested to see it. And I will see you in the next one.